Hey guys, it's Sean J. Harris here with Generational Wealth Academy, and I get the distinct honor and pleasure to be with Dr. George C. Fraser, who is the founder of Fraser Nation, and just so excited to be able to get some moments with him. And if I can just ask you a few questions, Dr. Fraser.
Sure.
The first question, what does it mean, generational wealth, for you? What does generational wealth mean, and why is that so important?
Yeah. Well, first of all, thank you for interviewing me. Secondly, the intergenerational transfer of wealth to me is a spiritual command that, if we understand Proverbs 13:22, that a good man leaves an inheritance to his children's children.
Right.
That is the classic definition of intergenerational wealth. We have a moral and spiritual responsibility not to leave our children worse off than us.
Yes.
And so we have to do everything we can to make sure that that does not happen, because everything we do for our children, just as everything our parents did, they did for us. So passing on wealth that gives them a greater start than what we had,
Yes.
is a fundamental responsibility. And so thank you for focusing on that. We all need to focus on that.
Thank you. And in my books, 15 Ideas That the Wealthy Teach That the Poor Don't, and also Money Moves, I talk a lot about
Right.
economic balance. Could you explain to us why it's important to be able to keep our dollars in our own communities as it relates to spending outside of the community once we get it? Why is that important?
Well, that's sort of the basic. I mean, the recycling of black dollars, the leveraging of our human capital, intellectual capital, our financial capital is critical. I mean, when you look at the aggregate wealth, let's call it the consumer power of black folk in America today, $1.3 trillion, properly focused. The number of jobs, if we recycle those dollars back into our own businesses, the number of jobs that they could create just for our own people, technically could solve our own unemployment problem. So recycling those dollars is critical, except not enough of us understand the power and importance of that. I know we've been talking about it for years.
Yes.
And so we know that integration both helped and hurt us, right? When we could not be insured by white folk. When they would not insure us, bank with us, they would not allow us to shop in their stores, they would not feed us. We had to do all that stuff ourselves. And we created our own Wall Streets. We had businesses and sections of our communities that were more successful than the sections in white communities. They destroyed a lot of those. You know, there's some classic stories around that. So it is critical. It is necessary. And I think it is a mindset that over time will sink in and help close the wealth gap between black folks and white folks in America.
Got it.
Over time.
Okay. Sounds good. And one last question for you, Dr. Fraser.
Sure.
When it comes to education, a lot of times we were taught, go to school, get good grades, go get a good job, go to college, etc. What is your ideology, your mindset when it comes to those who aren't really excited about going to college perhaps and want to follow their entrepreneurial pursuits? Do you think that it's mandatory that success equates from having a college degree?
Yeah, I think college is critically important. If you're for college, understand that only 18% of Americans have a college degree. Our parents taught us to get a good education and to get a good job. Now, that was the right mantra at that time, because when they were coming up in the early 1900s, they could not get a good education and get a good job, so that's what they wanted for their children. And that's what my generation, I'm 74, that's what we pursued. 97% of us are employed. That is both good and bad, right? Now, I've not taught my sons that philosophy. I changed it a bit. I've taught my two sons to get a good education and create a job. Create a job for yourself, create a job for your children, and if God gives you the power and the glory, create work and jobs for our people. So that's a new mindset. And entrepreneurship is profoundly important. And we have the fewest number of businesses per capita of any cultural group in this country. And we came over here on the Mayflower, so we've got to fix that. But the other side of that is we don't want all black people being entrepreneurs. I mean, there's some brothers and sisters that should not be within 100 yards of owning a business, right? You've met them, you've done business with them. We call them business people, right? And what we're trying to do in Fraser Nation is put the business people out of business because they are messing it up for those of us who are trying to do serious business. We also need well-prepared brothers and sisters with the proper credentials, strategically and tactically positioned in the public and private sector workplace so that we can access the resources of the public and private sector workplace. So we need black people everywhere. Certainly we need more entrepreneurs. We need more recycling of our dollars, no question about that. We need more of the employment of our own people by our people.
Yes.
So these are long-term goals. These are things that we must do. Bottom line, at the end of the day, if you want to simplify it into 3 words, black people must learn, earn, and return. We've got a lot of us learning and a lot of us earning, but not enough of us returning. Those who are getting an award tonight are the ones who have prescribed by that prescription. They have learned, they have earned, and they are returning.
And could you look at the camera and give my 9 and 10-year-old daughter and son a quick word of advice as they are young entrepreneurs themselves?
For all you young folk, and especially your children,
Thank you.
you're on the right path. You're going to succeed and you're going to fail. But it isn't really failure. It's just a lesson. Chart the course, stay the course, do the work, be disciplined, be obedient, and work hard, and there's no way you can fail. With a mother and father like you have, there's no way you can fail. So I'm proud of you. Keep doing what you're doing, and you'll make life better for all of us. Thank you.
Thank you, Dr. Fraser.
Thank you. Thank you. Appreciate it.